The very first memory I had where I knew I was different, I must have been 7 years old. This was in the early 90's. I think my parents and everyone recognized that I struggled to concentrate, that I struggled to listen, and I was struggling academically. I remember as a 7, 8-year-old heading to this place where I felt like I was a subject, a scientific subject. I was placed in a glass room. They then proceeded to put headphones on me and play me like an audiobook. And basically they would observe from far away on how I acted listening to stories. And yes, you guessed it, as the story was playing in my ears, I started looking around, I started fidgeting, I started moving around, I started knocking on glass. Goodness knows what else I was doing. And at the end of the story, they came back down and spoke to me and they asked me this: what was the story about? And yes, you guessed it, for the life of me, I didn't even know there was a story playing in my headphones. I think ADHD was not really such a big deal then, or they didn't really understand how to diagnose it. So obviously, being the 90's, what did they give a 7-year-old? Ritalin. I was on Ritalin for 4 or 5 years, if I remember correctly. I got held back a couple years in school. They tried all sorts to try and help me out, and eventually it did kind of help, and I think you kind of grow and maybe mature a bit more and understand yourself a bit more. So why am I telling you this? It's great to see people posting about their struggles with ADHD. It's just raising the awareness, and I commend you for doing it. It takes a lot to do it. It means being vulnerable in front of potentially millions, thousands. So I'd say keep on doing the good fight. I'd love to hear if you have any weird and wonderful stories growing up. So why don't you pop it in the comments? And if you're new to this page, why don't you drop me a follow? I'll follow you back. Be blessed.